So we've already talked about this briefly. This is a Mad Season video talking about Blizzard suing Turtle WoW. We've already kind of covered this, but I want to see Mad Season's perspective, which I think I could guess knowing Mad Season, but let's take a look anyway. Blizzard is suing Turtle WoW. Let's see what's going on here.
A turtle made it to the water.
Oh, I mean, we'll see about that. Hey guys, what's up? Mad Season here, back with another video.
That's a good intro.
So, it's happening. Blizzard is suing Turtle WoW. If you don't know what's going on, basically there's a private server named Turtle WoW that's been running for about 7 years now.
Watching this video of Mad Season talking about Turtle WoW and running laps on Canifis makes me want to run laps on Canifis on my other monitor. Like, I feel guilty not running laps now.
And to sum it up, it's a private server for Classic Plus, or at least the general gist of what most people think of when they say Classic Plus. It's vanilla World of Warcraft.
Yo guys, Blood Elves and Classic Plus, yes or no? Blood Elves and Classic Plus, yes or no? I'm seeing a lot of yeses. I'm seeing a good amount of no's. I feel like Blood Elves are pretty sick. I don't know, man.
Craft with new content added in the spirit of vanilla, much of it being half-abandoned ideas or features that the original developers had, and fully fleshed out by these independent developers. Some examples would be the survivalist profession that uses torches to light up areas. You have new races, areas, dungeons, and much, much more. And even the less flashy, but arguably even more important stuff, like actual effective anti-botting measures. They've had dozens, possibly over 100 people working on it. It's this massive community project, and it's by far the largest, most active private server for vanilla World of Warcraft at the moment. Although now it looks like all of this has been thrown into jeopardy. While they were able to fly under the radar for a while, in recent years, as players failed to find what they want from vanilla from Blizzard, it's gained a lot of popularity. So much so that they've now caught the attention of Blizzard, who has now engaged in a lawsuit against the owners of Turtle WoW. And in response, at least as of this recording, they're not backing down. So this is a very hot topic right now, as in people are very emotional and mad. As usual within the MMO community, there has to always be factions, so there's like two that are going at it right now. You have the Blizzard fans who are like celebrating and taunting the private server people, and obviously there's the private server people who are understandably upset, and everyone is personally insulting each other and making unhinged comparisons.
Wait. That's a false dichotomy, right? Okay, hold on. I'm a Mad Season fan here, but those aren't the only two groups. Right? Like, you could definitely be a person kind of in the middle that's like, yeah, Turtle WoW has some really great ideas. This looks awesome. I want to play, but it's still illegal as crap. And of course, they're getting sued. That's not defending the billion-dollar company and being a white knight. That's just like thinking logically, right? I feel like that's kind of where I'm at. So, like, yeah, I don't know.
Comparisons relating to child abuse, you know, the usual standard with the MMO community. Before we get into this video is sponsored by Extra. So I lose my stuff all the time. My imaginary girlfriend hates it, and something I consistently lose track of because I'm stupid is my wallet. Yeah, you ever have that panic when you realize you've lost your wallet? No. It's almost as bad as losing the goodwill of your subscriber base after releasing level boosts after specifically stating that you wouldn't. Told you so, by the way. But
Mad Season just went there. Sheesh.
Thankfully, Extra has this cool finder card that shows you the location of your wallet on your iPhone, and it'll even send you a notification if you get too far away from it. It's as small as a credit card, and it fits neatly and securely in the back of your Extra card holder, along with all of your other cards. And it also has RFID blocking to prevent wireless thieves. So yeah, this has been a lifesaver, and it provides me with security and peace of mind that all of my valuables are safe and on me. So check it out today by clicking the link in the description. description or pinned comment and use my promo code MADSEasonShow for 45% off your purchase. So, one thing is for sure, they certainly mean business, as they have enlisted the RICO Act. That is the Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organization Act, which was initially created to take down the fucking mafia. Yeah, you've heard of the Devil Store Mafia?
Yeah, well, I have.
According to Blizzard, Turtle WoW is the mafia now. The lawsuit has also revealed the information of those running the server, but even going further, in the process of this lawsuit, there's even been some evidence of an ongoing theory of this clandestine underground group of people behind the server who have made millions through Turtle WoW and other private servers released over the past decades. Yeah, it's pretty intense. I think first we should talk about how it came to this. Well, in essence, it was too good. This is actually kind of interesting timing because just a few days before the lawsuit, I made a video where I commented on the private servers. People have asked me why I don't play them, and I said that they have this unfortunate trait that their quality is inversely proportional to their longevity, meaning that the better a server is, the more populated it becomes. And when that happens, it gets put onto Blizzard's radar, and eventually they get lawyers involved. And anyone familiar with Nostalrius actually will be getting some deja vu here from this whole situation.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about this real quick since it's important for context, because there's some key similarities and differences here with this Turtle WoW situation. So for those who remember, this is similar to what happened with Nostalrius. It launched in 2015, and it wasn't Classic Plus at all. It was just plain vanilla World of Warcraft. And because Classic wasn't a thing yet, it was the only way to experience vanilla at the time. And
bro, oh my, that is so many people. Oh my.
By the time 2016 rolled around and current WoW got further and further away from what vanilla WoW was, it grew to this crazy level of popularity until eventually Blizzard caught wind of it and sent their legal team after them and got it shut down. Many people point to Nostalrius specifically as the reason why Classic even exists today, and I agree with that.
Yeah,
Blizzard has always had this reputation of this rock star developer mentality, and anyone who's been around for a while knows that in regards to vanilla, they were very condescending. Of course, this was widely recognized in the great "you think you do, but you don't" moment, but really that was just one of the many things that they would do to sort of dismiss vanilla fans. They simply didn't have the skills as developers to look past their own ego and recognize the wants of their player base. It's kind of like this "how dare you not like what we're making right now" mentality. Why don't you play this shit behind me? It's gonna be awesome. So, much like Nostalrius, Turtle WoW just got too popular, and they certainly knew it. They've been posting adverts everywhere, boasting 500,000 active players worldwide.
Yeah.
With 44,000.
Bro, if these numbers are real, that's pretty big, for especially for a private server. Even not for a private server, that's decently large. But for just a private server, it's massive.
Line concurrently, which for private servers, that's crazy.
Yeah.
They've been taking ads out on Google AdSense, something that the lawsuit specifically references, and they've been so successful, in fact, that it seems as if their hubris got the better of them, and they thought that they were untouchable, so they began to poke the bear. They started tweeting at Blizzard on social media, kind of mocking them, which leads us to today, where Blizzard has now hit back, and quite hard. So while there are similarities,
something that I read online, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal expert, I don't understand this stuff at its core, but something that I read was interesting. It said something like, if you have IP and you don't go out of your way to defend it, you can actually lose that IP. So, for example, if Blizzard has their Warcraft intellectual property and someone else tries to copy it, they have their chance to sue. But if they don't sue and they let it kind of just go forever, then the opposing counsel can kind of, and then you sue later, they can kind of make the argument, look, you had your chance to sue us to protect your IP claim. You let it slide for 10 years. now you lost it. You actually have to defend it, or else it becomes not yours anymore after a certain amount of time. Once again, I'm not an expert here. I was reading this online and I found it interesting. But this is maybe kind of the reason what's going on here. If Blizzard's like, look, we kind of have to sue you to defend our IP because you're poking us nonstop, right?
Between Nostalrius and Turtle WoW, there are also some key differences. Probably the most major being is that Nostalrius just got a cease and desist, which is of course a warning of an incoming lawsuit should they fail to comply, while Turtle WoW is getting the actual lawsuit right out the gate. And a lot of this just has to do with the amount of money they've made and just how large of a project it is compared to Nostalrius, as we'll discuss. Second difference is that they mean business, while Nostalrius was more of this independent, smaller group of people who didn't really profit in any hugely significant way. By pulling the RICO Act, Blizzard is alleging that the defendants are members of this multinational business enterprise. They go on to say that they found a lucrative way to exploit and profit from Blizzard's IP, Warcraft, and they offer and profit from paid access to the emulated servers.
What does Turtle WoW monetization models look like for people that play? Like, are there mounts? Are there transmog, or not transmogs, but like cosmetics? Like, how are they profiting? They have mount skins, it's pay to win, cosmetics, just like retail. Got it. So if there's actually 500,000 players and there's any cosmetic monetization, yeah, these guys have made many, many millions. Minimum. Probably, yeah, minimum. Absolute minimum. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, many, many millions compared to a $1 trillion company is still kind of pennies, but still, like, yeah.
As well as all the software and tools necessary to access
I've never
them,
tried it, no.
Including pirated copies of the game. And according to this lawsuit, they do make money on the game through this kind of loosely defined cash shop.
Yeah, here we
all
go.
but name, where players can donate, and in return they receive in-game items and features. And
interesting. So Turtle WoW donation rewards. This is interesting. They use the same skin as like pay to win on retail. I'm surprised the players get behind that. Chow Chow, thanks for the sub. You can buy repair bots. You can buy mechanical auctioneers. You can summon an auctioneer. I don't know what the difference is. A brainwashing device, Lore Master's backpack, portable pocket dimension, which is like a big backpack, I guess, and portable mail. I'm surprised that classic players get behind this. Because it's a lot of, I mean, that's it, like, it's not pay to win, but it's like pay for ease of gameplay, right? You don't have to run to the city as much. Yeah, it's like quality of life. It's like pay for quality of life. I guess PoE 2 does this kind of with like, you can buy bank tabs. You're not actually buying like the gear. It's not pay to win in terms of advancing your level or your account. Like, okay, this is better than buying max level characters probably. And I think this is also better than buying gold. And I think this is also better than buying, what's it called? Player power in itself, so gear, right? This is better than a lot of stuff, but it's still like interesting.
Other various very useful perks, and in response, Turtle WoW is not complying. In the earlier video I referenced, some people chimed in on the comments that they're safe because they're outside of the jurisdiction of the United States, which is partly true in some ways. The owner is in Russia, and this is presumably why Blizzard is engaging the RICO Act, as it gives them more power internationally, possibly forcing cooperation with European countries. And this is where it gets really crazy. So there's this conspiracy of a person named Shenna, who is this entity within the private server community that people allege takes over private servers, leverages in cash shops against the developer's will, sells characters, gold, abuses power, and so on. So because of all of this, this person has gained a sour reputation and is generally unwelcome within the private server community. And people try to avoid servers that are under their control. Well, apparently there's this theory that this person is Torda, who is the owner of Turtle WoW, and there's a lot of suspicion that's been raised because...
Wait, Torta? The owner of Turtle WoW's name is Torda? Am I hearing that right?
Saying this person's name in certain subreddits or discords will get you muted or banned. And how this relates to the lawsuit is that Blizzard thinks the same thing, as they themselves label Shenna and Torda as the same person. So this whole thing has been its own realm of conspiracy that's been at the heart of private servers for a very long time. It's kind of blown up the community, and it's this big controversy. And now that the lawsuit has specifically named these two people being the same person, it's just another piece of evidence and proof enough for many people. Although, to be clear here, for all intents and purposes, this is what Blizzard thinks. How they got this information isn't clear. Some people are theorizing that Blizzard is aware of the controversy surrounding this, and they're simply trying to stir the pot and sow discord among the Turtle WoW community while they sit back and watch the fireworks. Kind of like a Game of Thrones plotline, which is interesting.
That is really interesting.
On the other hand, other people believe that they have access to some sort of information private to them that has indicated that they are indeed the same person. So in essence, it's one giant clusterfuck, and while there is some truth to what people have said, that the servers themselves may be out of the jurisdiction of the US, with the RICO Act being engaged, many of the individual people named in this lawsuit aren't, and now with the Shenna and Torda link, the community as a whole will most certainly be affected in some way, whether that be through lawfare or
I wonder if since the lawsuit hitting, if Turtle WoW has increased in population through all the publicity, or decreased in population because of people saying, oh crap, it's not worth wasting my time, and maybe this is kind of bad because the Shenna person's involved and I'm not about that. I don't know. It's definitely increased. It might be increased. Roughly the same. Yeah, maybe it's the same. I don't know. We don't know the real numbers. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. It's like, I feel like there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I didn't even know this existed. Let me check it out now. And it's like Blizzard's probably like, oh, crap.
Illogical Game of Thrones warfare. But going back to the differences between Nostalrius and Turtle, another key piece of information that a lot of people are missing is that Blizzard isn't demanding Turtle WoW to destroy all data related to the private...
Wait, did he just hiccup? What was that?
Blizzard isn't... A lot of people are missing is that... Blizzard isn't demanding Turtle WoW to destroy all data related to the private server. They want them to turn it over, which has some people thinking that maybe this was the big plan. Why develop a game that you don't understand yourself when you can get other people to do it successfully, and then you can just take their work?
I don't know if I've ever heard Mad Season laugh. Holy crap.
Holy shit. Who knows if that's true, but some people are angling that as well. But naturally, as you would expect, people are really angry because, you know, regardless of what you think of all of the politics about all of...
I mean, this is not anything new, right? Like, you have Warcraft 3, Dota's made as a mod, and it's like player made, and then you have Dota come out, and you have League come out, and it's like, yeah, like you see this stuff, like you have... I mean, Nostalrius is different. Nostalrius was more like the community had this massive push and massive urge to play something and kind of forced Blizzard to respond in some way because it's like so many people are playing. And this Turtle WoW is something similar. It's like, look, people want this. The proof is in the pudding. If you're not going to make it, someone else will. Pushes them to then react and be like, okay, fine, we'll make this, right? So it kind of just leads the charge a little bit.
The situation is this. People want Classic Plus, so much so that they're willing to go out of their way and find these private servers in order to play it. And not only has Blizzard failed to provide it, they're also now actively trying to shut down people who are. So there's this big frustration with them. And on the other side, the Blizzard side of things, People are saying that with Blizzard being this publicly traded AAA video game developer, they're legally obligated to protect their intellectual property. And if they were to allow copyright infringement and they allow these large privately run servers to run free and grow to these sizable levels of popularity, they make themselves vulnerable in a few different ways. People are asking why they just can't leave them alone and let people have fun. But for the most part, they do. There are a ton of privately run World of Warcraft servers out there, and Blizzard has let them run free for the most part for the past 20 years. That is, unless they grow big enough to be a threat to their intellectual property, either in the sense that they're actively taking a substantial amount of subscribers away, or, as mentioned in the lawsuit, by damaging their reputation by providing, quote, poor experiences, or things like being the victim of security.
The WoW private server has a negative experience, or people love it and they're like, Blizzard, your act together and send this thing, man. That's funny. Oh my god.
Breaches, which has happened to Turtle WoW. In 2024, they had a security breach where players had their email addresses and passwords leaked. So Blizzard is saying that this harms their reputation because people associate World of Warcraft with Blizzard, even if it's not run by them specifically. Although I'm more of the opinion that Turtle WoW more damages Blizzard's reputation by doing their jobs far better than them, but I digress. So
I mean, I think whether you play Turtle WoW or not, we can all kind of agree that Turtle WoW devs are doing a good job. Like, there's some good content there. It looks fun. I haven't played, but like, if it was a legit server, I would play. Like, it looks awesome. And like, yeah. So I think it's like kind of similar to Nostalrius. You fly him out to Irvine, you have some meetings, you figure out how to make this thing official, and you work together, because it's clearly they're pretty gifted with making some content that people enjoy.
All of this, and I'm not a lawyer here, from what I'm to understand, puts Blizzard at risk, which I know a lot of people don't care about, but again, I'm just trying to explain the why here. But regardless of all of that, I definitely understand the frustration. People want Classic Plus, Blizzard isn't providing it, and they're shutting down a server.
Man, this is brilliant. Dungeon extensions. Brilliant. You're taking something that's already there and already great and just like extending it and adding in some extra like lore. Like, brilliant. Like, this is the kind of stuff in Classic Plus. It's like, yeah, cool. Like, extra extensions in Wailing Caverns, Scarlet Monastery, like you go to the crypts or something, like what? Like, yeah, this is great. This is really good. Like, that's who thought of that? Very smart.
Down a server that apparently, from everything I've heard, did it really well. I haven't played it myself, but looking at their trailers and from everything I've heard, it does look really good. But
it does look really good. It does. It's like, man, come on, let's do this thing, man.
All of that being said, it's a giant clusterfuck. Something important to keep in mind here is that as of yet, it's still unknown if Turtle WoW is actually going to be shut down. The process has simply begun, and apparently they're not complying, so we're kind of in this middle ground situation where everybody's just waiting to see what happens next as they start trying to pick off members of the team that they are able to pick off, and to see what happens with this pressure, with this conspiracy that's been brought to the forefront. Now, if you're asking my opinion, so earlier we saw someone comparing it to child abuse, so I would like to increment the counter of unhinged comparisons.
That's a crazy comparison.
Julian Assange. No, don't click off the video. I swear this is high-level IQ stuff. This guy was a gamer. He was slumming it out in some Ecuadorian embassy. He apparently let his cat shit and piss everywhere while he played World of Warcraft in the basement. The president of Ecuador literally gave him a list of chores to keep his room clean and to take care of the cat until eventually he had enough and called him a spoiled brat.
Is this true?
Yeah, literally. And he kicked him out of the basement and told him to get a job. A true generational World of Warcraft neckbeard story. So, these situations, I admit, are slightly different. Just slightly. Maybe one is more serious than the other by a small degree. But in my very scientific reasoning is that if they can get Julian, they can get Turtle WoW.
Dude,
We'll see. Maybe I'll be wrong. Who knows? But
2 Mad Season laughs in one video? Brother, are you kidding me? Let's go. All right.
For those of you who followed the Nostalgia situation, you'll remember that they actually hired private detectives to knock on the doors of the developers at odd hours of the night to serve papers.
I personally had a private investigator hired to track me down by a legal firm that represents Blizzard. He called numerous people in my life.
He had a WoW poster in the background while saying this. I don't know why. I just thought that was interesting. Some massive WoW fan out there. It's like...
including my employer, my owner of my company, to confirm information about me so he could serve me papers at 10 p.m. on a Wednesday night, slamming and knocking on the door, freaking the crap out of my wife, and waking up my baby daughter in the next room. The amount of pressure that Blizzard put on the Nostalgia team was immense.
And that was still just cease and desist territory. Personally, I don't know the conviction of the Turtle WoW development team, but some of them are most certainly within reach of this lawsuit, and even though there may be over 100 employees, they're still going up against this multi-billion-dollar AAA video game developer that isn't afraid to use intimidation tactics to get people to comply. Successfully, I might add. And if the rumors are true, and Blizzard is working on a Classic Plus of their own, even if it is shitty, which there's a high chance that it'll be if they're surveying pet battles, they'll also have that to contend with. And some people theorize this lawsuit is happening because they're working on a Classic Plus, as it's more direct competition. Again, kind of drawing comparisons to
Dude, I've said that there's a high, like, at this point, and you can disagree with me and say that I'm a copium, because I probably am. But at this point, I think there's a higher chance we get it than we don't. Like, if I was a betting man, I had to put $100 on red or black, right? Like, if I have to like actually make a bet here, I would say there's a higher chance we get it than we don't. Whereas if you asked me like a couple years ago, I would have said no way. We'll see.
The Nostalgia situation where they shut down Nostalgia and then released their own classic servers. So if you ask my prediction, I think it's probably going to get shut down, and I'd like to follow that up with the fact that I don't really...
I feel like it's not going to get shut down if the servers are in Russia and the Turtle WoW devs are serious. But I think what is going to happen, or could happen, is we take it to US courts and the ISPs block access to Turtle WoW's website and to Turtle WoW's game servers, so that to play Turtle WoW you would need a VPN, and that's going to like cut the player base in half or a quarter or something, because like some people will do it, but like just the fact that there's another hurdle to jump through, it's like, yeah, I think that could happen. So we'll see.
Have a stake in any of this. I love vanilla WoW. I don't care too much for Blizzard. I can't really say that I'm a private server guy. The most I dabbled in really was this super old school server called Phoenix like 15 years ago, and a little bit of Nostalgia, but nothing really serious, mostly because I
played a little Nostal too until like it was getting shut down. It's like, oh crap. Phoenix, that sounds familiar. What was Phoenix, guys? Do you guys remember a private server named Phoenix? Sounds really familiar. I don't know what it did. Sounds familiar. Yeah, I don't know why. It was TBC. Okay.
Didn't want to lose my characters when they do eventually get shut down. I think that the whole situation is pretty sad in the sense that I love vanilla WoW, so it's just another form of vanilla WoW that's possibly being removed. And regardless of all of the details and the legalities surrounding all of this, that alone sucks. I think that vanilla WoW is probably the greatest game of all time, so it's just kind of a shame, you know? It's a shame that private servers have to exist to begin with, because the people responsible for developing it think that people want to raid Gnomeregan and run incursions on a server that ends.
Did RuneScape private servers exist before old school RuneScape came out? Like, did someone out there host an old... Yes, they did. Like, because the point I'm trying to make is like, this isn't like this weird unnatural thing. If a company isn't making something that people want, then the community takes it in their own hands, and then the company might, if they're smart, take note and say, oh crap, people want that, let's actually build it. But like, the consumer knows better than the company a lot of the times, because they're the people playing the games 12 hours a day, and they're trying to be like, this is what we want. So it kind of points in the direction. Like, if Blizzard's smart, they just build it. If they're dumb, then they just they sue them, they get rid of it, and then don't build it. That would be silly, right? That would be completely nonsense. But yeah, Jagex probably went through the same thing, and like we talked about with Dota and League, like a lot of companies have probably gone through the same exact thing. They are building something, and then the community's like, no, we want this. This is even better. And then the company's like, oh crap, you're right. Okay, let's build that instead. Like, I don't think this is like this crazy phenomenon. It's like, yeah.
In a genre of game which very foundation is based upon it not ending. I think that's where a lot of people are really pissed off.
Yeah.
Is Blizzard hasn't been able to realize the full potential of vanilla.
Bro, if vanilla, I'm so with Mad Season on this one, bro. Like vanilla has got to be one of the greatest games of all time, if not the greatest game of all time. And if you make a version of it that doesn't end, and you actually do it well, and you just keep expanding and keep adding juice to it without like changing it too fundamentally, like
do they think that they actually can? And that's frustrating to a lot of people, and I get that. But anyways, with all that being said, wow, what a situation we have here is all I have to say. I will be keeping a close eye on it because it is rather interesting and quite important for the future of private servers. Like, this is a huge crossroads, not only for Blizzard games, but for any game, period. I feel like a lot of precedents will be set here with this case, so I will be eagerly awaiting news with it. And I suppose if it's video worthy, I'll probably make a follow-up on here. But with that, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Like it if you liked it, because I will see you in the next one. Peace.
I already liked it when you laughed twice in one video, Mad Season. Let's go. Hype. That was a great vid. Great vid, man. Blizzard suing Turtle WoW. There it is. That's what we know. That's the info. Mad Season W. WoW needs to go free to play as well. The game does not deserve a sub when you have players finding free and better alternatives elsewhere. I mean, as long as it's live service, I think the sub makes sense. Like, especially for retail, like if they're constantly developing content, I think the sub makes sense. I mean, RuneScape does the same thing. Like, if you're if a game is live service and you're constantly doing new updates, it makes sense, right? Free and better. I mean, there is an argument to be made for free. A lot of the top grossing games in the world, if not all of them, are free to play plus skins, right? And mobile games like that do something similar. But like you can monetize with free to play, and with free to play you can get critical mass a lot easier because people there's no paywall to actually get in and play the game, right? That's why a lot of PvP games are better when they're free to play, like League or is Counter-Strike free to play now? I know it used to not be, but I think it did go free to play at some point. Am I trolling? It is free to play now. Yeah, that's what I thought. So like if you're a PvP game, like you kind of do want your game to be free to play because you want it to be easier to hit critical mass and more players can play against each other. But I think for like a live service MMO, it makes a lot of sense for it to be a monthly sub. Hey Terp, thanks for the prime, man. Quicksand, thanks for the prime as well. Welcome in, guys. Riot MMO, I think is the only one that has like a real chance at, and I'm not gonna say kill WoW, but to give it massive competition. So that's what I think. And I've never said that about any other MMO. So